Currently, those who are sentenced to death in California are guaranteed an automatic appeal to the state Supreme Court. This has led to justice being delayed and in some cases denied to victims' families. SB 1514 would remove the automatic appeal to the California Supreme Court and is part of a legislative package intended to help bring justice to those who committed murder under special circumstances. In comparison to other states, justice in California is unnecessarily delayed. For example, the D.C. Beltway sniper committed his crimes in 2002. He was tried in 2 states in 2003 and was executed by Virginia in 2009. Had he been convicted in California, he'd be wasting tax dollars on death row today. There are many problems with the implementation of the death penalty. In my legislative packet, I have decided to target the automatic appeal and the jurisdiction of the appeal because together they help streamline justice for the victims. Costs are important, but they don't take precedent over justice for the victims. By speeding up the death penalty for those who commit murder under special circumstance, California will ensure justice is not necessarily delayed or denied. Appeals would still be allowed if there were actual grounds for an appeal, just like any other criminal case in California. Why should a serial killer or other murderers receive special appeal rights above and beyond those granted to all other criminals? SB 1514 would utilize death row as it was initially intended, as a temporary holding facility, not a retirement home where death row inmates are sent to professionals for sleep apnea treatment and revived after drug overdoses. To help illustrate the reason this legislation is necessary, I'd like to draw your attention to the visual aid I brought with me today. You're looking at Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, brutally murdered 13 people in 1984 and has spent 21 years on death row. Lawrence Bittaker, who murdered 5 young women and has spent 29 years on death row. Samuel Zamudio robbed and murdered an elderly Southgate couple, Elmer and Gladys Benson. Although condemned in 1997, he's been awaiting execution for 15 years. Jeffrey John Mills raped and murdered a 21-year-old woman, Sacramento woman, condemned in 1997. He's also been awaiting for execution for 15 years. Dean Carter strangled and murdered one of 5 women. Although condemned in 1990, he has been awaiting execution. Combined, California death row inmates have been waiting for over 10,472 years for execution. The last photo is of Richard Allen Davis, who kidnapped, assaulted, then murdered 12-year-old Polly Klaas.